Welcome back. 50 alleged Ghanaian journalists alleged to be fake who had been cleared to cover the Commonwealth Games have been deported from Australia. Meanwhile, the Ghana Sports Ministry has denied it had anything to do with 50 alleged fake journalists getting visas for the Commonwealth Games. Deputy Minister of Youth and Sport says that it would be launching a probe, but the visas were not awarded by his department. The Australian authorities, however, suspected that they were not genuine. 12 European tourists were rescued by Cameroon's military. The 7 Swiss and 5 Italian nationals were taken hostage in the southwest region, where Anglophone militants are campaigning for an independent state. The 12 were abducted while they were on their way to Twin Lakes tourist site. Meanwhile, 6 municipal councillors in the neighbouring northwest region, who had also been hit by unrest, were freed in operations that led to tens of assailants neutralised, huge stocks of weapons and ammunition, as well as large quantities of drugs seized.
We are very much proud of what our BA has achieved. We know that we can count on them. We know that to be equal to their responsibility, they are ready to share the last drop of their blood. Terrorists, they must understand that the commitment of our nation, happen what may, to keep the nation one and once for all and united, ready to move forward in sharing our common vision, our common willingness to live together.
A Libyan appeal court has cleared one of the sons of late leader Muammar Gaddafi of murder charges. Well, Saeed Gaddafi, who has been held in the capital Tripoli since his extradition from Niger in 2014, was found not guilty of murder, deception, threats, enslavement and defamation of the former player Bashir Ryan. He was fined 500 Libyan dinars and given a suspended 1-year prison sentence for drinking and possession of alcohol in the 2006 case. Saeed Gaddafi, who under his father had a career as a footballer in Libya and Italy, was also a special forces commander, still faces other charges in Tripoli relating to the 2011 NATO-backed revolt. And hundreds of Libyans who were stranded in the desert say they will only go in one direction, and that is home. They were trying to return to a town emptied in an act of collective punishment during the 2011 revolution.
Hundreds of people who were stranded while trying to return to a town emptied in an act of collective punishment during Libya's 2011 revolution have sworn to stay put here until they are allowed home. The makeshift camp of 250 tents sprang up in early February after armed groups from the city of Misrata blocked convoys of displaced families trying to approach Tawerga, a town of about 40,000 that still lies in ruins.
تواجدنا من أجل العودة وفق قرار رئاسي اللي صادر ب 26/12 بدخولنا 1/2 ل1 فبراير إلى تورا.
It was forces from Misrata that chased Tawerga's residents from their homes more than 6 years ago, accusing them of supporting a military siege of their city by Muammar Gaddafi, part of his failed attempt to crush the NATO-backed revolt that overthrew him. After long negotiations, they were told by the internationally recognized government in Tripoli that they could start moving back. But repeated attempts to approach Tawerga and set up camp there were blocked by a combination of uniformed forces and militiamen in civilian clothes, some of whom opened fire.
سنبقى هنا وفي بعض الأحيان ممكن نتخذ قرار إن احنا نتقدم إلى الأمام بدون حسبة للعواقب يعني. ماذا يحدث بعدين ما نتحمل ذلك وخلاص. لكن لن نستعمل أي شيء أي سلاح إلا الراية البيضاء وغصان الزيتون في اتجاه تورغا.
Tawerga, about 200 kilometers southeast of Tripoli, is an eerie collection of bombed-out abandoned buildings that have been left all but untouched.
Zambia has lifted a ban on imported food from South Africa, except risky food from units of Tiger Brands and RCL Foods that have been linked to a listeria outbreak which has killed 180 people since early 2017. Health ministers say the ban was lifted on most food after tests had revealed the presence of listeria, but would still keep a ban on risky foods from Enterprise Food and Rainbow Enterprises. Well, thousands of Ethiopian refugees have fled to Kenya since early March, escaping violence at home, most of them women and children. 55-year-old Dami Galma Boro was reunited with her daughter Malicha Doyo and her newborn granddaughter Nuria. They lost each other on the way to Kenya. Dami Galma Boro is grateful that her newborn grandchild Nuria and daughter Malicha Doyo are safe. Dami Galma recently got separated from her daughter, who is heavily pregnant, as they fled conflict in Ethiopia last month. Malicha gave birth to Nuria when she arrived Kenya. The family was reunited at a temporary reception center in Moyale, northern Kenya, on the border with Ethiopia.
When we ran away, I was afraid. My biggest concern was always my daughter. She was heavily pregnant. I'm even surprised on how she made it here.
According to the UN Refugee Agency, about 10,000 Ethiopians have crossed into Kenya seeking refuge since March the 10th. Civilians escaped their homes after several people were killed in what the Ethiopian military said was a botched security operation targeting militants. Ethiopian state media reported in mid-March that soldiers had been deployed to an area near the town of Moyale in Oromia, a region that borders Kenya, in pursuit of Oromo Liberation Front fighters who had crossed into the country from Kenya. But faulty intelligence led soldiers to launch an attack that killed 9 civilians, injuring 12 others, says the Ethiopian news agency. The Kenya Red Cross has said that refugees from Ethiopia were mostly women and children.
The immediate challenge here is food. They have arrived without personal properties, and they need basic commodities like cooking set. They need water, they need shelter, they need health care.
Locals in the area are also helping by hosting refugees. Halakano Rare offered Malicha's family a place to stay after Nuria was born. And that's the program at this time. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker.